I'm just going to review some of the concepts we learned yesterday on how to complete the square. Completing the square, remember, is just a simple way to put an equation in standard form back into vertex form. So when we're looking at an equation like the one above, y equals 5x squared minus 30x plus 7, the first thing that we have to consider is to make sure that we group the x terms together. That was step one. Step two now was to factor out that coefficient in front of the x squared. So our next step would be to factor it out. Then we're left in brackets with x squared minus 6x, and the plus 7 is still sitting around the outside. Now here's where, and we called it the magic happens. We just say, okay, what is half of 6? Well, half of 6 is 3. And then we square that, so 3 squared is 9. So it's always half of this term here squared. So half of 6 is 3, squared is 9. So our next step becomes y equals 5, x squared minus 6x plus 9 minus 9, and then plus 7. The reason why we add a 9 and subtract a 9 is that we basically are adding 0 to the equation. So each time the equation is equal to the one above it. Now the next thing we have to do is somehow get rid of this minus 9 term. And the way we do it is we say, okay, I'm going to take this 5, multiply it by the negative 9, and we're going to kick it outside those brackets. So what we're left with is 5 x squared minus 6x plus 9, and the plus 7's there, and now we're saying what is 5 times negative 9? That's minus 45. Now in essence what we've done is we've created a perfect square. This trinomial here is a perfect square. So if we factor that, we should have the same factor. So what we get is y equals 5, and this thing factored turns out to be x minus 3 times x minus 3, and out here now we have a negative 38. So altogether now we can write this in vertex form as 5 equals x minus 3 squared, because there's two of them, minus 38. So now what we have done, we've completed the square. We've changed this in standard form into vertex form, and now we can simply say, okay, yep, now that we have that, I know the vertex is at 3, negative 38. I know, because the leading coefficient here of a 5 is positive, that this takes this parabola that's opening up. So this point is a minimum. And we've completed the square and found some things about this quadratic.